When I was first starting out in business, I was still in medical college and I used to read books about industrialists or millionaires or billionaires. Then this dream started to take form in my heart, which is, hey man, maybe I can also be a millionaire. It would be super cool, super glamorous. At that time, my dreams were very small. It was like, hey man, whatever money I'm gonna make from my hospital job, if I can replace that from business, that would be super cool because that would be giving me a little more control. And at that point, although I would read and I would hang out in a community full of millionaires, that dream had not fully formed in my mind. If you are somebody like me, then in this particular video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact path that I used to actually finally become a millionaire. What is the definition of a millionaire? How do you have to think about it? And actually, it's a very simple math. It does take time. It'll take a little bit of mental realignment, but every single person who's watching this video can actually reach there following the simple path that I have actually followed. So I'll be actually walking you through my simple step-by-step path, which everybody today in the economy can follow. And if this awareness is not taking place inside your brain, then you should start following this path, and maybe some variation of this path will lead you to your goals. Okay, my name is Dr. Rajat Sinha. I'm a medical doctor turned sales strategist, and using the steps that I'm going to share in this video, I was able to quit my hospital job within the first 2 years of actually joining practice. So I've only seen patients for 2 years of my life and my career, and then go into sales and entrepreneurship, which has led me to today being a full-time stay-at-home husband and making videos which can actually help you follow the same journey. So welcome to this video. Let's get started. In this particular video, I'm going to be unveiling to you the how to become a step-by-step millionaire, step-by-step strategy which I have followed, and that is what I will be revealing in the session today. Okay, let's see. Okay, my camera got got rotated. All right. Okay, there we go. Let's go back. Okay, let's start with step number one. What is a millionaire? Step number two will be whether you should become a millionaire in a job or a business, because today it is very easy to become a millionaire in a job as well. What is, I feel, my ideal combination, and what are the ideal skills that you will need today in today's market to go on this journey? And then what was my actual path that I followed, and I'll be sharing with you step by step what is the actual path that I followed. Okay, so let's start with the point number one, which is what exactly is a millionaire. Now, when we say million, it means a lot of things. You could be a millionaire, you made $1 million, or a million rupees. So what is million? Million is actually 10 lakhs. Okay, it is 10 lakhs, and whether it means Indian rupees to you or US dollars, you got to decide that. But when we use the convention million is not something we use in India. We use lakhs and crores in India. So by default, when we are saying millionaire, we are talking about $1 million. Okay, and $1 million is roughly about 8 crore rupees. 8 crore rupees. Okay. So now a lot of people say, I have made $1 million. That means that they have made $1 million gross revenue in their company. A lot of commission sellers who are selling financial products, health products, say, I have made $1 million, because throughout their entire career, the total amount of health product or financial product that has been sold in their network amounts to $1 million, which would be 8 crore rupees. Okay, so there are many ways to talk about it, and when you listen to people talking about $1 million, it means a lot of things. Okay, if you're a network marketer today and you have a team which has been there for 5 years, 10 years, and today lifetime, if it has moved 8 crore rupees, that hardly means anything to you in your personal income. Okay, so you got to question whether it is gross or net, whether it is lifetime or per month or per year, and whether it is Indian rupees or US dollars. Are these overall total earned revenue, or is this net savings in the bank account after taxes and expenses? Is this liquid cash or illiquid? A lot of people say, oh, my property is worth $1 million, so I'm a millionaire. But when you actually go to sell that property in the market, you will realize that nobody is actually willing to spend $1 million on your property. So what is it? And a lot of this is notional. Is it accumulated? Is it cash in the bank, liquid, illiquid? All of these things come into play. Okay. My definition is simple. Gross earnings in US dollars, if they are rupees 8 crores or $1 million, gross earnings before tax per year, then you can say that you are making $1 million a year. Or if you have gross earnings before tax in your bank account of 8 crores, I have had that. and then taxes are deducted from him, so I ended up with roughly little more than half of it. Okay, then also you are a millionaire. Okay, I use it like that. Obviously different people's definition is different. So when you read a financial journal, when you read a newspaper, when you see an ad, somebody saying I'm a millionaire, when you see me talking about, hey, I got $1 million, whatever it is, different people's definition is different. So you gotta outline your definition. In my definition today, if I could make $1 million, which is 8 crore rupees pre-tax total revenue per year in my account, I'm not talking about commissionable products where the money is going to somebody else and then they pay me a commission. No, if I could have $1 million change hands inside my account, even pre-tax, I would be very happy. I would call it $1 million a year business. Okay, $1 million a year is 8 crore rupees of revenue. Okay, when I did become a millionaire, I had $1 million cross into my account. It didn't happen all at once, happened over the course of 2-3 years because I had some stock options in my company which went for Silicon Valley acquisition. So my stock options were encashed. They were not encashed all at once, but yes, $1 million changed hands in my account. And this was pre-tax. That means taxes were income tax. I had to pay from that. So I ended up with few crores in my account, but not 8 crores in, over a period of 2.5 years. All right. So that is what made me a millionaire. Technically, if you had asked me to produce $1 million at that time, I wouldn't have been able to produce because taxes, I had to pay taxes from that. Okay, very simple. So today my goal is to make $1 million a year in my business. It's a very high profit business, very low overheads business. I work entirely from home. I worked entirely from home for the last 5 years. And today, if I can generate 8 crore rupees a year pre-tax, I will think that my goals are achieved. That is actually my next goal in my business. Okay. Next, next is very important, whether you do job or business. Let's go to point number 2. Whether you want to generate $1 million in your job or in your business. Today, in certain jobs, you will be able to generate $1 million over a period of time. That means you'll have to work at a very good high paying job. If you're an IIT, IIM graduate, then you could probably make a good salary, which over 2 or 3 years will become $1 million. Okay. Now, of course, in that salary, you'll be paying taxes and you will also be spending on your household. So by the end of the time you make $1 million, much of it would have been spent. So, but you can say, hey, I made $1 million. Okay. So in a job, these jobs are very, very lucrative these days. And if you have a good lucrative job, I would recommend you stick with it and have a good systematic investment savings plan so that you can save significant amount of that income and have it grow. If you're in a job, taxes are going to be applied. There is literally no way to save taxes. Okay, 80C and all these things save about 1 or 2 lakhs in total. But if you're playing a big game, that doesn't amount to much. So what you got to do is you got to be open to spending about 37-38% in total taxes. And then the rest of the money you're going to use for your household expenses. Make sure you have a good savings plan so that your savings are growing, so that it amounts to something significant over 2 or 3 years. Okay, you can go for business. I have actually when I launched my first business, import export consulting, it actually went dry in 2008 when the housing market crash happened in the US. A lot of international businesses were washed out. So was mine. I had to go back to a job, but in that particular job, my mentor and CEO, he gave me stock options. So he said, you build this startup with me, and as the company grows, you're going to be a significant player. As the company grows, the value of your stock options will grow. So think of yourself as a co-owner of the company. And then later, when that company was acquired, I was able to cash out my stock options. That's how I actually made my first million. Okay. However, today I am doing a business, and I feel the best way to build $1 million is to do it in your business. However, if you're very young, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the capital, you don't want to take the risk, no problem. I'm going to be outlining a path where you can make $1 million somewhat in job and business. You can ride across job and business lines and make it happen for yourself with the right combination. Okay. Now, what is my ideal combination? My ideal combination is learn sales early. The number one thing you need to do is you need to learn and master sales. I'm very clear about this. This is the number one thing that really helped me in life. You need to learn sales early. There is no doubt about it. I feel there could be many other things. A lot of people today are finance whiz kids, so they can do trading, they play markets. I don't know what all they do, but I know one thing, something that helped me, that is an infinite returns game is learning sales. Okay, you will always win if you know sales. You will always win in life. Okay, next we have learn sales early. Then you have start a part-time business. Now, once you have learned sales, you need to start a part-time business where you can test out and master this sales skill and keep improving it and keep being in the market. And the way you be in the market is on the weekends or on your free time. Have a variable business where you can take some company's product or something. I sold health products as part of my network marketing business. I read this in the book called Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki, and he said the best way to do it is just start a part-time business in network marketing. That way you'll hone your skills, and I did exactly that. Even in my medical college, even in my hospital job, I used to take the time out in the evenings and on the weekends, and I would go and try to sell this company's product to people and try to build a team. And although I was unsuccessful in the first 2 or 3 years, the work ethic and the market exposure itself built me to be a millionaire later. And that is the reason my next mentor was able to hire me in his company, because he saw that I knew everything about everything and I was absolutely a killer in the marketplace. Okay, I was just in the wrong game at that time, so he said, okay, play with me, we'll get you there, whatever. Okay, learn sales early and start a part-time business so you can master this sales skill and you can test out this sales skill. Next, whatever you're doing, job or business, save 10% a month of your income and put it in hard assets. Like it could be real estate or something like that. It could be stocks, hard assets, stocks and real estate, not playing trading or not doing any weird stuff with Bitcoin or anything like that. No, in either companies or mutual funds, which are also stock, hard assets, generally hard assets, or gold or real estate. Okay, now a lot of people don't classify shares as hard assets. I just classify it as hard assets because if you're investing in the India market, shares are amazing, top blue chip companies are amazing. Okay, so it's pretty much future proof. So I call it hard assets, although technically they are not hard assets. All right, you can do gold, you can do real estate, whatever. Do something with it. Okay, next, build business skills. Now you're using your sales skills to start a part-time business, but you're going to also build some business skills. Business skills means you're going to learn some basic accounting, you're going to learn some basics of dealing with people skills, probably hiring people. In my network marketing company, I had to hire people without paying them a salary, so I'm telling them to become a part of my dream. I don't have to pay them a salary, which is very difficult, but that skill set helped me later, because now if I'm paying somebody a salary plus I can make them part of my dream, it's a win-win for them, and then it really works very well. Okay, so build business skills, which could be people skills, money skills, accounting skills, in addition to sales skills. Okay, next, once you learn business skills, build a part-time business. Very simple. So I've already written start a part-time business. Okay, build a part-time business. Now I have done this twice. I have built a network marketing business in my part-time, and then when I was doing corporate consulting, I was able to put a wrapper over my part-time business, over my network marketing business, which was actually owned by the company, but then build a business entirely in my name by using an MSME license, which I'll just show you how to do that in the next section. Okay, so you want to go bigger and bigger, as big as you can. So if you're doing a part-time business in the name of a company, like you are an insurance agent or a network marketer or something, you want to go full-time, or you want to start a business which is entirely in your name under your license. Okay, next, let's go to skills. What are the ideal skills that help you to grow this ideal combination and to follow the path that I followed to become a millionaire? Okay, get paid for performance. Get paid for performance, which is you need to learn in life to give, not be dependent on your salary or any kind of fixed income. Okay, and once you develop that skill of really having to earn your daily bread, that is really going to help you in life. Okay, depending on a salary at all times is not only a dependence, it is an addiction. It is a habit worse than crack cocaine that is very difficult to beat. And one thing I tried to do whenever I was in my job was try to keep my weekend income paying my bills. Okay, which is I should have some money coming in so that my bills are not entirely dependent on my salary. It also helped that I was working for startups. So in my initial years, my salary was almost never on time. So I always had to figure out how to pay the bills. So that really helped me, because the one thing I see is if you're in a job or something like that, or if you come from a family which is middle class, which has been dependent on a job, that pattern is very difficult to break. That what happens, how will I pay my bills? Okay, so you need to learn how to do that, and breaking that addiction is like breaking an addiction to a very dangerous substance. So it will take some working over here. Okay, next, so do pay for performance stuff, which means you get into the habit of getting paid for performance. Learn low ticket selling, which means learn how to sell small things, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 rupee things, online or offline. It's going to really help you. Learn high ticket sales, learn how to sell something worth 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh rupees. It's going to really help you. Learn one to many selling, which means learn how to sell in a workshop, learn how to sell in webinars or seminars, learn how to sell one on one, or one to many in an upsell format, which means people have already bought something from you and now you're immediately introducing something else to them to increase their investment. Okay, so that's called upselling. Next, learn Facebook ads. Learn how to do Facebook ads, because Facebook ads is the single biggest source of high quality hot prospects that are going to come to you to buy from you. So learn Facebook ads, very important skill set. Okay, learn information products. Information products, learn how to sell intangible things. What are intangible things? If you sell your consultation for a certain amount of time, 1 hour of your consultation for a certain amount of money, if you're able to sell a membership to your course program or to your online community for a certain amount of money, if you're able to sell your guidance, 1 year mentorship or something for a certain amount of money, these are intangibles and these are called information products. So if you can learn how to sell information products, courses, communities, consultations, certification programs, this is insane, because the cost to manage the product is hardly anything. It is less management and more business development. Okay, learning to sell intangibles is really going to help you in the long run, because all the big people in the world are selling something which is intangible. Remember that. All right. Next, you have learn accounting. It is one of the business skills that I spoke about. Learn accounting, how to account for certain activities. Like in my business today, we spend a lot of time screening for salespeople, then training these salespeople, and then within a month we need to figure out whether the salesperson is going to perform or not. Then either retaining the salesperson or letting them go. And I had to figure out how much does it really cost, this whole activity. So if I have a success rate of 3:1, which means if I end up hiring 3 people and then only one of them performs at the end and 2 of them I have to let go, this whole process of finding them, interviewing them, recruiting them, training them, and then letting 2 out of 3 people go, this whole activity, how much does it cost me? I had to learn that. Okay, and once you learn that, then you'll be able to modularize your business into different components that you can have separate people deal with, or you can just outsource these components and your scalability will become higher. If you learn accounting, you will be able to build bigger businesses, or a bigger business. You'll be able to go from $1 million to 10 million, 100 million, even $1 billion. Okay, very important. Okay, next, you need to learn video making, editing, and publishing, because this is the single thing that is going to really help you improve your visibility. A lot of people spend a lot of years in perfecting their product, self-doubting whether they're good enough to go into the marketplace, etc. But it's not required. If you just make some videos and run them as ads or something like that, just go online, make some videos. In 2 to 3 days, you'll be able to figure out how good you are, because you will be talking to clients, you'll be giving offers. Some offers will be rejected, some will be accepted. It's very simple. Okay, so chances are, if you're into self-doubt or if you're into self-perfection, I'm not perfect yet, chances are you don't have enough number of prospects. And the only reason you don't have enough number of prospects is because you don't have an outflow channel for your message. And that message is video, and the outflow channel is Facebook ads. Okay, so video ads, video making, and Facebook ads, 2 things that are going to make you free of all the wrong company, wrong people, self-doubt, people's doubt, wrong environment, whatever. These 2 skills are really going to help you. Okay, let's see if we have something over here. Okay, now we are going into my actual path. So in my next section, I'll be talking to you about how I built these skill sets over time. I had some mindset, which is my mentor told me, learn sales, learn to sell health products, and then later I went into intangibles. How did the step-by-step journey happen? Okay, so I'm not going to show you my actual path, and if you follow this path, I can guarantee you that you're going to become a millionaire. When I first started on this path, for many years I was a failure, but my mentor kept telling me that you are going to become a millionaire, guaranteed. And I asked him, how do you know that? Because all you're seeing me is seeing me failing. And he said, I don't know how it's going to be, but because you're following the right formula. And he had got this formula from his mentors and by reading books and by referring me to the same books like Napoleon Hill and Robert Kiyosaki and all of that. And he said, if you follow this formula, you're guaranteed to become a millionaire. I don't know how the path works out for you, but it's a guarantee, and it worked out for me. And I can tell you it's going to be a guarantee for you as well. Okay, let's go into the actual path. So start learning sales in college. First step is, even if you're in college, 10th, 11th, 12th, first year, second year, you want to start learning sales in college regardless of what your parents may think. Hey, why are you selling stuff? We are providing enough for you. Whatever it is, you need to take time out from your college days and learn selling. Very important. Next, you need to get a sales job in a startup, ideally a small company where you can sell and grow the company. You will really know what it means to be back against the wall every single month end. Okay, so you'll be working with an amazing mentor who has the guts to start a startup, and then you'll be working in the sales department. So you are the person in charge of bringing in the money, and working with a mentor in that kind of an environment really helped me and built me into who I am today. Okay, so I'm really grateful that I got a sales job in a startup. Next, while you're doing a sales job in a startup, you want to start working part-time on your own business. So you start building out your foundation, your moat, and you start building in some extra cash on the weekends. Next, develop a derivative product around your part-time business. This is very important. A lot of people think that if I'm making 10, 15,000 rupees a month or 10,000 rupees a month by working on the weekends, then when I go full-time, I will be able to make 40,000 rupees a month. You don't have to beat the horse dead for it to perform at that level. Today is the game of derivatives. What is derivative? If I wanted to drill oil, it would take me 2 generations, like it has taken Dhirubhai Ambani 2 generations to become Reliance, like they have become today. Okay, but if I wanted to buy the share of oil, I can immediately become an oil industry person because my shares or whatever I'm doing is going to grow with the oil industry. Then instead of only buying the shares and holding, I can actually start trading in those shares. So I can play futures and options or start trading in those shares, and I will get access to way more action in the oil industry, probably be able to grow faster in income than if I was merely an investor, or if I was starting from the ground building my own oil rig or something like that. Okay, so this game is of derivative. If in my case, when I learned how to sell a 2000 rupee vitamin supplement to cold leads by going to their homes, I could create a coaching program where I could help other people in my competition to do the same. And guess how much they paid me? 2000 rupees to learn it from me. How many times did I have to sell that product in order to make 2000 rupees? I had to go to people's home again and again. Every month I had to recreate that income. But once I started selling my course program, or once I started coaching people, every time they would come and give me 2000 rupees cash, and then the word would spread and a lot more people would want to learn the same skill from me. Okay, that sale was way easier than convincing a health prospect to buy a health product. Okay, it's a derivative. Then later, I was able to build an information systems business just like that. Now I teach other people how to build information systems on top of their existing health product or financial product. Now this is a derivative of a derivative. This makes even more money, and sales are even easier. To sell this is even easier. Okay, so develop a derivative product. See where the nature or the universe is taking you. Develop a story around it and sell it to the next higher qualified person. In my mind, a person who sells health products is more highly qualified than a patient who needs to reverse diabetes, because the person who sells health products is already invested and made choices and come to a point where their decision taking is going to be faster. Similarly, a person who has been selling health products for a long time and they have built some information systems already in their health product business to automate the business, they have already made enough investments that when I give them the message that I can tweak some things for you, you'll make more money, they're already at a position, they're a higher qualified prospect. So figure out how your journey is going, how you are getting highly qualified in the marketplace. Even though your base business may be flat, even though if I'm still in a job and I'm still selling the same health supplement, I'm still making only 10,000 rupees per month by working weekends. No problem. You can develop a derivative and go 10x faster that way, and it won't cost you that much time. Okay, so don't beat a dead horse further. Next, preferably use internet-based options I already shared with you. Building information systems around hard products is the new business. Next, ascend the value curve. I already shared with you how I did that. Ascend the value curve and sell to higher and higher quality prospects. Purchase equity in a subscription business. Now, what you want to do is you want to have some passive income. The big mistake that people make is before they build active income, they try to build passive income. And this industry is also corrupt, and I don't know what their intention is, because they're going around telling people become an agent for my company so that you'll make passive income. It's not passive income, it is active income for them. And the only time you can build passive income is if you put your money into making money. If you work for the money, it's not passive income. Very simple. So how did I build equity in a subscription business? My network marketing business was my active income business. Then I built an information system business, which is also currently my active income business. Hello. Now, what I did was I wanted to roll out a service, but I did not want to run the service. I want to build a service which people need month on month and they're going to pay every month. And what I did was I went to my friend and I bought equity in his business. Now he runs the business, he hires and trains the employees, he delivers the service. I don't have to do much in that particular business, but by buying equity in that business, I make some kind of part-time, or you can say passive income in that particular business. So your passive income will only be built by purchasing equity, whether you buy a share of a performing company or you put your money into real estate or something like that. Actually, your real estate is not owned by you, it is owned by your broker. You can think that your broker is actually working for your real estate full time, and every time that there's a trade, there's a tenant coming in, going out, they're buying or selling your property, the broker is going to make the money, but you're going to make fractional income. So think about your business as being run by a CEO if you're into real estate, and the CEO is actually your broker. Okay, and just think that, okay, this is my part-time residual income. Whatever I make out of that, just make sure that the numbers work out. Okay, so that's that. You can do real estate, you can purchase equity in stocks and shares, or you can purchase real equity in somebody else's business if you have good relations with them. Next, save 10% of all personal income and invest in hard assets. I've already shared with that. This is the things that I have done in order to become a millionaire. And by the way, under my mentor, I also had equity in the business that I was working for, which basically means in the company that I was working for, I had equity, I had stock options, and I was a managing director. So I had great amount of leverage in growing that company and building my wealth, which was still active income. Okay, but when you want to make passive income, you want to make sure that whatever money you made, 10% of that is going into buying equity in other people's businesses or putting it into gold or real estate or stocks or anything like that. Okay, and that's how you build your wealth. You will become wealthy, you will become rich through your active income, and then you will become wealthy through your passive income. It is a journey, but everybody over here can do this. Just start with the basics and start by learning sales and start by utilizing your time appropriately, by not wasting your free time when you're young, but putting it into a business and learning the right skills. Okay, and doing that, I sometimes used to feel, hey man, I don't have enough time to hang out with my friends, do partying or something like that. I'm just doing my business. But for some reason, it used to keep me emotionally much more satisfied than actually hanging out and wasting my time on the weekends. Okay, in a later stage in life, when I was able to get pretty rich in a very short amount of time at a very young age, I did actually go out and party a lot, and I've partied all over the world in different cities. I've eaten all the good food and drunk all the good wine. So nature was kind to me, Providence was kind to me. But I was able to use all my most active, youngest, most high energy years into building myself as the asset and then building other assets around me. And that's how you become a millionaire, and God willing, a billionaire as well. Okay, so with that, I end this video. Please let me know right below in the comments what else I can provide for you in terms of other content, what questions I can answer for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.